Good morning, boys and girls. This is Miss Ramsey, and today is Thursday, and we're going to continue our conversation from Tuesday. And this time we're going to look at non-literal language. Our I can statement for today is I can use non-literal language or figurative language. So, what is non-literal language? The words do not mean what they say. Non-literal means that it's almost not real, or figurative means that it's an example of, or it has a deeper meaning. Let's look at an example. My friend kept taking the toy truck I wanted to play with. He wouldn't even let me have a turn. It drove me up the wall. The underlined sentence is a non-literal language. The boy didn't really drive up the wall. This phrase means someone is very frustrated or annoyed. So I posted this picture here for you guys to look at because this is sometimes hard for students to understand. And even though we've worked on this standard all year long, it can sometimes be hard to remember all those funny little sayings that we use in our books or even in conversation. So to drive somebody up the wall means that you're driving them crazy. This guy is just frustrated. He's not really going up a wall. Looks like this trumpet player might be annoying him, so he's getting very frustrated. Let's look at some examples of non-literal language or figurative language, and I'll explain to you what those meanings are as we go along. So raining cats and dogs is a phrase, and if you remember from Tuesday, a phrase is a series of words. It's not necessarily a sentence, but it has a specific meaning. When someone says it's raining cats and dogs, they're saying it's raining very hard. An example in a sentence might be, bring an umbrella because it's supposed to rain cats and dogs. Another example is the words or the phrases, on the ball. That means that you're aware and ready to respond quickly. It's important to be on the ball at work if you're hoping for a promotion. Some words that mean the same thing as on the ball are capable or competent, or you're very quick. Like in this picture, it looks like this woman is able to hold or juggle or do a lot of things at one time. That we can tell that because she's sitting in one single place, but she has all of these arms holding different things, and she's on the phone, and she has this computer, so she can do all of these things just at one time by herself. Another phrase that you hear very commonly in the English language is under the weather. When you hear someone say they're under the weather, that means they're sick or they're not feeling well. So here's an example in a sentence. Do you have any tips for how to get over a cold? I've been feeling under the weather. Up in the air is another phrase that you will hear quite often, and it means that you're undecided or you're uncertain. Everything is up in the air still. I hope to have the plan figured out by next week. Some words that mean the same thing as up in the air, some synonyms are indefinite, uncertain, or undecided. This one is one of my favorite phrases, to hit the hay. It means to go to bed. I'm going to hit the hay, I said after I brushed my teeth and putting my pajamas on. So it means you're going to go to sleep, and I just think that's a funny one. This one you don't hear as commonly, as often, and it is to leave no stone unturned. It means to try everything possible in order to solve a problem. He wanted to leave no stone unturned when it came to researching the best college. He really looked into everything. So I have listed some common figurative language or non-literal phrases in this example right here. And I want you to pick 3 of them and tell us what they mean. So if you pick the one that says to zip lips, if you wrote zip lips right here, then you would tell me what that means. It means to stay quiet. So you might have to pick your 3 and then do some research, because if you and your family speak more than one language at your home and English is not your first language, You may never have heard these types of phrases. They're pretty unique to the English language. And I know some other languages have little phrases like this, but they're not as common as they are in English. And so this is a challenging activity or task if you don't speak English as your first language. So please reach out to your teacher, Miss Giok, Miss Schwan, myself, Miss Kaiser. Your reading and writing teachers would love to help you with this because this is an essential piece of becoming a great reader. When you're reading fiction books, the harder they get, the more common these phrases become. And you don't want to read them and be confused and miss the better part of the story. So practice today with these three phrases, tell us what they mean, and even have a conversation with your teacher if you're confused, or if you just want to practice using them in a sentence. And we'll talk more about how these help you tomorrow when we look at context clues. All right, boys and girls, we look forward to reading your phrases and their meanings, and I will talk to you tomorrow.